Hey everyone, welcome back to the coaching call. I'm Coach Mike. This week, first question we've got is talking about, it's a follow-up from last week's question about overload work. Basically, the gist of this question says that this lifter has a history of being scared of heavier weights. It makes him lose confidence and causes some hesitation. And basically, it causes performance to struggle on meet day. And he feels like that's kind of kept him back from realizing some new PRs because of that, and wants to know what my recommendation is. So if you want to incorporate some overload work, which in your case I can understand where that desire comes from, there's really two ways to do it. Well, first is that you could do for the squat what you've done for the bench. So there's overload work already incorporated into the bench training. For example, this week you have pin presses from mid-range. That is overload work. You're handling super maximal weights, so stuff like that should help. You could do something similar for squats, but in order to do that, you need special equipment. You need knee wraps, you need chains or bands or something like that. I do not recommend partials for overloading your squat, at least in this case. Another method that you could consider trying for either squat or bench or both would be to do basically static holds. At the end of your programmed work, so you have your competition style squat. At the end of that squat work, load up. It doesn't take a lot. It takes 110% or something like that. Put that on the bar and do 2 walkouts. So you just take the bar out of the rack, you walk it out, and you hold it statically for about 10 seconds. Then you just put the weight back. That's it. You would do something similar on the bench, about 110%. Lift the bar out. Take a lift out if that's what you're going to have in the meet, but hold it at arm's length, and just hold it for about 10 seconds. Do that 1 to 3 times. I would recommend probably about 2. You can do that at the end of your normal scheduled training. I would do that maybe every other week. You don't need to do it every week. And I would cut it out about 2 weeks prior to the competition. Same with the overload work. If you do something that's more traditional overload style work for your squat, cut it out about 2 weeks prior to the competition. Keep it in there for short bursts. Put it in your program for 3, maybe 4 weeks, and then give it a rest for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. And then you want to make sure that you have normal training for that last training block leading into the meet. So that last 4 weeks or so leading into the meet, that's not really the time for overload work. The time for overload work has come and gone at that point. So let me know if you have any further questions on this. That's how I would recommend adapting your current program to include some overload training.